What did I say about balance just now? Progress over perfection. Put on your do's, show up, do it. Hello my beauties, happy new year. I know this is my second video this year, but it feels like the first one because the previous one was recorded in 2022. So this is officially happy new year to all of you, my lovely beauties. We have another exciting year to get to know each other more, to share on 3 of my most favorite things, that is my faith, beauty and style. It's gonna be another great year. And speaking of beauty, on today's video I'm answering some of your questions that you asked me on Instagram towards the end of last year. I'm finally sitting down to answer those questions while I do my favorite makeup look. This is a very simple, straightforward look that I do for when I have to record something or have to go somewhere and I just need to look neat. Let's dive right in. I already put on my primer. This is the foundation I'm using. I got this from the ARC store, but I'll link it down below. Just 1 pump. The first question that I'm responding to is from Navelani Mkansi, and she is asking, what is my favorite scent? Well, I love florals in all the different brands. I will tend to gravitate more towards florals or like fruity scents. I love those and I've always loved them. I remember when I started to have my own salary, the first thing I bought myself was DKNY Be Delicious. I loved that apple scent, and obviously that was a very like youthful scent. Over the years I've grown to love Marc Jacobs Daisy more. I know it's a very popular scent. I love it myself. I love it so much that it was my scent of choice on my wedding day. Yes, I love how fresh it is. I love how feminine it is. It's not overpowering. I feel like it embodies my personality so much. It is quite subtle and just florals. I'm not like an avid perfume person, but I do buy it because I love the smell of it. It's just the technical terms that I don't know much of. And I also like Chanel Chance, the pink bottle. That's also like another one for marking my milestones. What I notice is that my love for perfumes and scents has particular phases in my life. Like I've just shared, like the first perfume I bought myself on my first salary, Bali, I think it's Bali Beauty XO on Instagram. She also has a YouTube channel. Shout out Bali. She has been plugging us on some perfumes, so I'm definitely going to be trying out newer scents this year because I feel like some of my faves are like a bit dated and I've gotten used to them. Let me know in the comment section if you want to see me start a newer and more updated perfume collection. I definitely can document that. On to the next question. This one is from the Bella Amour. Yes, and she's asking, how do you maintain your femininity as a full-time mom slash boss? This is such an interesting question. I believe it's not the first time someone has asked me about this. Being a mother is something that speaks to one of my highest values as a feminine woman, and that is being a nurturer, being a lover, being a caregiver. Yes, so being a mom really does help me to become even more softer. When you have children, you have no choice. You are forced into gentleness. You are forced into nurturing. Okay? It's an amazing gift from God because He has given us, only to us, this power to bear children. If it does not get more feminine than that, not that if you don't have, like physically you have issues, that you don't have that quality of a nurturer. I think we have it even without that ability to bear children, but in our character and how we just have it innate in us. So operating in the space of being a mom benefits me a lot. in remaining in my softness, up to my mom, how she was raising us, and my grandmother. So I feel like motherhood is just one of those things that help us to enhance our femininity. And being a boss, wow. A boss, an entire boss. Well, being a boss, I am mostly a boss to myself, as I currently don't have any permanent staff except for the few people that I will take on as assistants from time to time, depending on the volume of my work. Being a boss, being focused, is also quite okay for me because I'm a boss in a field that is female dominated, that is the beauty space. So even on that, I never feel like I'm operating outside of my character. At work, in the formal space, I am a communicator. Even there, I always sprinkle out my own personality to share my feminine character of being kind and gentle in that space as well, with the people that we deal with. We deal with families, we deal with children, we deal with we deal with women from all walks of life. So I feel like across all spheres of my life, the setup allows me to truly be who I am, a feminine, beautiful, kind, caring person, and also with boundaries. I feel like as women, we have this power within us to bring order and stability, and when that springs forth in our personal lives and how we operate on a daily basis, it makes this beautiful package. And also, my masculine energy also helps in the business side of things. In our femininity journey, we tend to vilify all of masculine energy and traits, but the fact that we have both these hormones in our bodies, it means that we need them from time to time. That being firm, that competitive spirit of masculine energy, you know, is required for growth in business. And by competitiveness, I'm not even talking about competing with other people, but with myself for growth. Balance between the two energies, obviously being more feminine inclined than masculine. And this next one is from Gugu Dumako. How do you maintain a balance with mom duties, wife, full-time job, influencing, plus MC and work and makeup work? Yo, it seems like quite a lot of things when you actually list them out like that. Part of it is not taking it so seriously. You know, I never really sit and list these things, which maybe I should. How do I balance? Well, I am a person who loves organization in terms of my movements. I have a routine that I follow for daily stuff that I do, and if there are any changes that need to take place, if I have like things that I need to do, I fit them in. Having that routine on lock is what helps me. That routine of knowing that, okay, I'll check all my makeup appointments at a certain time, plan and put it down on paper. Doesn't always happen as flawlessly as it could, but I always try, plan everything, put my makeup appointments, outline where I'll be going at what time, to avoid double booking myself, because sometimes the MC work can literally just take over. I noticed this last year that, wow, this has actually become something solid, one of my full-time income streams. So I just plan everything well ahead of time, keep a strict routine that I never deviate from, and when I do, I have a good reason. On the wifey and mom stuff, my family comes before everything else. My husband first, my kids second. So everything has to start there. I need to be at a great place in my marriage, and then my kids need to be in a great place. And I know some moms are looking at me like, why would you say your husband first and then your kids second? Because that's how it is. That's my ministry of marriage. That's how I see it. That's my hierarchy. that is not like, it's not an independent hierarchy, it's a biblical hierarchy, that my husband comes before my kids. And my kids obviously are everything to me as well. On Friday afternoons, I'm not doing anything else. I choose to be with my kids. I'll go to the park with them. I'll go out at a restaurant with them. Like, they are kind of restaurants, like going to Spur. With my husband, we have a daily thing of just spending time together before bed or in the morning, very early in the morning. We'll just get up and chat about life, chat about things, and pray together and laugh. You know, I feel like it's daily things I'm really consistent with. And we also like prioritize date nights. I've shared some of my date nights here. Things like running together, going for a walk at the beach. Those are some of the things that we do, but it all takes intention. Making sure. And one of the things on balancing on the marriage front is to, this is some adult content, but prioritize intimacy. Now, I feel like once that is not prioritized, it can mess up everything within the marriage, within the home, and with work. So it's just one of those things. And again, I told you I'm in marriage for ministry. It's one of the things that I have to do. I'll put in scriptures that support what I'm saying whenever I'm referencing something I do in marriage and saying it is ministry. The babies aren't back to school yet. I don't have a nanny. I'm potty training. What did I say about balance just now? Oh, but God really sees me through, hey? I always just count it all joy. Sometimes it feels a little overwhelming, especially now because hubby has gone back to work. I was not feeling much of it, but I manage, hey? I manage. I've not been taking any makeup appointments for the time being, and with my YouTube, I woke up at 5 a.m. this morning, put on my bread that I had kneaded the dough last night. I want to make steamed bread for everyone. It's already like boiling on the stove. I feel like because this is something I've always wanted, a family, and now doing YouTube and doing makeup, these are all things that have a special place in my heart. None of it feels like, oh, this is extreme. Oh, I'm being made a slave. Even with this YouTube thing, this is something I picked up for myself. I didn't have a contract with anyone. And even with the speaking, I'm not doing it to please anyone. I'm not doing it to prove a point to anyone. So I think balance comes with knowing why you do the things that you do. It must be the things that you love to do for you to actually make the time for each and every one of them. Of course, the support that I have, how can I forget? I have a great support system. My husband is very hands-on. He does the school pickups and drop-offs. I have his sisters, I have my sister. I have a great support system, and I had a nanny as well, which after the kids started school, I felt I no longer needed. I know how like we all can load clothes into the washing machine and take them out. I will fold them and organize. I can do that in the evening. I can do that while I listen to a sermon. I change my own beds and all that. So I feel like you need to have a passion for the things that are filling up your life. They need to be things that are of high value for you to see the purpose in doing them every day and actually enjoying them. For the most part of these past few years that I've been here, there's been a lot of working from home. So that helped a lot. Manageable. It's just scary when you list it out like that, but when you actually look at it, it's not that bad. And I also prioritize my rest. Hey, I prioritize my rest. Now I'll have a day where I'm not doing anything. My kids are in school. I'm just chilling with myself. Go out, go to the beach, solo date, you know, just prioritizing myself, doing me. Sometimes I'll do my me stuff. Even if they are here in the house, I'll tell them that please don't interrupt me. I'm busy, I'm creating content or doing some self-care. And my husband will make sure. He is very strict. You know how men are in the house. I need to name my kids, I can say no and they will and I'll budge. If he says to them, your mom is filming in that room, guys, you don't go there. They don't go there. He will sit with them, watch TV with them, or take them somewhere. It's just all about intention and prioritizing what matters when it matters, and planning your time, time management and prior planning for everything. And it was so yellow. Where's my under eye? So yellow. I'm using the V Beauty powder palette. One area that didn't show up in this question was so a social life and friendships. I don't know, I just feel a gap there, but maybe I'm getting older. The circle is just getting smaller. I know no one asked about it, but yeah, maybe I can do a video about this altogether. But I just find that now that I'm deep into my 30s, maintaining friendships has taken a turn that I'm not familiar with. I don't know, guys, how are your friendshipping? It's weird this side here, not like this beef or anything, but I just watched my circle shrink last year. I don't know, maybe I'm toxic, I don't know, but I did watch my circle shrink last year with not much said on whoever's end. But I'm okay. Hey? There's something about growth and a focus on yourself that you notice some things happening, but when you weigh out that, okay, how does this affect my well-being, and you actually notice that it doesn't do much of a difference, you tend to let things go. That's what I did. That's what I did. Actually, I've had this idea of talking about navigating friendship in our 30s for a while without really acting on it. Comment down below if you want me to talk about it. One thing's for sure though, I'll never say that friendship doesn't matter. It does. It does. So that is something that I will see. I'll see how that one goes. And moving right along to the next question, because we have exhausted that. This one says, how do you know if someone really loves you and doesn't just want to be with you for the sake of dating or being seen with you as a beautiful woman? You know by their actions, not their words. There's a certain way that a man who really loves you will treat you. Their efforts to speak to you, their efforts to see you, the way they will want to constantly prove to you that they really like you. It shouldn't be something that you have to question. You don't even wonder when a guy really likes you. They are naturally chasers, and a hunter will never not be seen. Like, a hunter is never subtle. He will show you that he really likes you. You shouldn't even have to question if they like you or not. Yes, this is blush all over. This. So you'll never even have to wonder if a guy likes you or not. Make him put an effort. I know for sure that men love to hunt, especially like masculine men, where you want to be going. You don't want a man who's going to be competing, playing hide and seek, competing with you for attention. You are a woman. He should be pursuing you. You are the prize. We are not playing any games, but we are just rubber stamping our stance as the prize. Taking out the SEX, it will put a lot of things into perspective for you. In my dating life, the minute I stopped that, I became celibate, things just started to look different, because this main thing that a lot of guys are after was not available. Fewer people will stick around for that. Some will stick around until you budge. Do not budge. Don't settle for something that's not what you want as well. It's not just about being pursued, it's about who is pursuing you. Do you even like them? if you are not sure about their actions. Sometimes when a person is so withdrawn from you or giving you their crumbs, you tend to think that you are interested in them, but it's just simply because of the mind games that they are playing. You want them because they are not available. Carefully search if you really like them, and one of the things to determine when you are liking their values. What are their values? Ask these things so that you don't just get caught up on the hide and seek games and this person is not even worth your time. Find out what their values are. Just observe their actions, talk about general matters, and you will see. And then from there you will decide if whether they like you or not, are they even worth your time. It's not even about how they make you feel. I feel like being with someone purely on how they make you feel without investigating their values, how compatible you are, how compatible your lifestyle is, your views to marriage, your views to commitment are not on the same level. You're just wasting your time. I hope I have answered you, sis, on this. You will not doubt the actions of a man that really likes you. Don't help him cut any corners, né? Take things slow, observe his actions. This next one comes from I am Kami B, Kami_B. I almost thought that is Cardi B. I'm joking. The question is, you are so beautiful and gracious. Thank you, sis. What steps did you take to have a positive self-concept? This is about how you perceive yourself, how you see yourself. That's my understanding of it all. It took years of work. I still work right now at it, and being intentional with things like affirmations, understanding God's view of me, not comparing myself with anyone, and just sitting comfortable in my own skin, understanding my journey is my own journey. My beauty, my features, they are all uniquely mine. And also being intentional with my faith created something in me in terms of how I perceive myself. Finding identity in Christ over everything else really helped improve my view of myself, how I perceive myself. Once I started to look at myself on a spiritual level, where I am seated high with Christ, I just started to love myself more. I started to see value in me, that there would be a son of God who sacrifices his entire being for my presence, for my freedom, to set me free. There is no way you can understand the gospel and apply it in your life and still not view yourself as high up there and worthy of greatness, worthy of peace, of joy, of love. If you are a child of God and you still don't feel those things about yourself, pray hard about it, because if you feel the opposite of that, that is not from God. Yes, you are a sinner, but you are saved by grace. If you still operate on a space where you feel inadequate, not enough, not beautiful enough, pray, sis. This is the blush that I have on, that I'm transitioning with. Moving on to the next question, we are approaching the finish line. I decided to take a few questions so that I can answer them on a more detailed manner. And for this one is coming from Simply Zianda, and she says, morning sis, what is your take on 1 Timothy 2 verse 9? What does dressing modestly look like for a Christian woman? I can't speak for other people. All I can do is speak for myself, as I have come to know the Lord and take correction from him. It's become a big part of how I dress. However, I still am, struggling. Sometimes I'll still put something on and it will later hit me that, okay, maybe not. Over the most recent years, the more confident I became in myself and the more I got to understand the value in covering up for my own good, things started to change. I always look at it this way: once you understand your value in Christ and what your body stands for, and you know, just that love being restored back, and knowing the kind of attention that you want, knowing the kind of attention that you do not want, it's something that comes from within that place without even being corrected by other people. It stems from inside. As with most things in one's personal journey with Christ, I feel correction from him makes sense when you have allowed yourself to be completely transformed, instead of a position where it's just some old woman in the church telling you to cover up. Also, with my style becoming more polished as I am maturing as a woman, I've seen less of a need to show more. Obviously, when you go to the beach, you can wear your bikinis and whatever. I used to wear those bikinis and take pictures and videos like that were very sexy, toned and all that. That's what I completely stopped immediately. Also, I feel like when there is a certain correction that you're getting, you will have questions like this one. You want to hear someone else say it to you. You already know what you need to be doing, what you need to be wearing and not wearing, but you feel like you need a confirmation from someone else. Listen carefully and hear what the Holy Spirit says to you on those things. Will feel even a discomfort. Take that as correction and be intentional about it. See how this serves me. Does this look good on me as a child of God? What does this say about me? Because you dress how you want to be addressed. That is my say on this one. The second last question that we are looking at comes from Ntembi, and she says, how is omendo treating you? I'm assuming that she's talking about marriage, but more on the traditional side of things, being a makoti. I'm referencing the use of the term omendo, mixing it with the English. Omendo is great, sis. I feel like we set it on our own terms to begin with, because we know what matters most to us is the presence of God in our union, a mutual respect and a love for one another and our families. That's been consistent throughout. From lobola to everything, we've been doing everything our Christian way, and our families respect that. This is because even the way we live our lives didn't just come up when we had to get married. So this affected even the way I got welcomed into the family, without getting into any more detail, but they respected our Christian values in terms of sacrifices and all that. Some of the things that are not in line with our beliefs, we were not forced into anything, but the respect is there from my end, from their end. I feel like the makoti stuff, even like the outfits and the respect and the duties, I feel like those things have become a lot easier in our generation, especially with the family. If you are married into a family that is chilled, then it becomes chilled. These are the things that you suss out even before marrying the guy. Find out how their family is, and I feel like it's not stuff that you do every week. You can put on a brave face, put on your dukes, show up, do it with the love and respect that it requires. I know omendo, like those makoti vibes and all that, have also gotten a bad rep, but I feel like if you go into marriage with the mindset to serve your husband as the primary guy that you're married to, then you will not have a problem. The last point is how to overcome speaking anxiety, public speaking anxiety. Tips if you have, and it's from Daphne Murphy. Daphs says, first of all, it's completely okay to feel a little nervous and anxious before speaking. This is not easy for anyone. Even the most famous people that are known for being great speakers will talk about anxiety. So the first thing you need to know is that it is completely okay and it is common. If anything, it also helps you to have that bit of anxiety and a bit of worry so that you may deliver. If you are too chilled, you may get to a point where you just don't care and end up not giving it your best. Tip number one would be to make sure to put in the research into the topic that you are going to be speaking about. Don't rely on just speaking off the cuff. This helps to build your confidence. You tend to speak well when you know what you are talking about. It's that one first boost that you need. At least I know what I'm talking about. study the industry. If it's a work thing, know everything about the company, touch on all the points that you are supposed to be touching on, but also making reference to other areas as well, just to flex that, well, I know about that too. So make sure to study your crowd, your audience very well, so that you don't continue with a certain line of thought that is causing shockwaves. And also, like, on general speaking engagements, you want to stick with the subject matter, because sometimes once you just take a different train of thought altogether, you'll be too nervous, being shaky. You want to avoid that. Stick to what you had initially outlined as the subject matter. Third point is to make sure to not use niche words. By this I mean, like, certain communities use certain terms, even the jokes around those spaces are different. So study the audience well, know the kind of language that they speak, and speak it. If you are speaking to a more grown-up audience, don't bring up social media trends that they won't even know. And of course, vice versa, if you are speaking to the youth and people that are generally into social media, then you can freely use those, because it helps with your relatability. And once you see smiling faces, or like intrigued or interested faces, that anxiety tends to simmer down. Another word of advice would be to dress nice and do your makeup, do your hair, put an effort if you're gonna stand in front of people. It helps to reduce that anxiety and boosts your confidence. Being comfortable as well matters. You don't want to be pulling anything in front of people. I pray before speaking, and then I go through my notes, always learning as well from other speakers, watching videos here on YouTube, learning tips and tricks, and just watching people do public speaking, but maintain your originality in it. So that's that. Just to wrap, I just want to remind all of you that the perfect balance does not exist for anyone. I try from my end, and there will always be gaps. It's just a matter of continuing to try, continuing to push, and doing everything that you can to minimize the impact of those gaps. Otherwise, no one has it all perfect and figured out. It's a personal principle of mine that I do not seek perfection, because that is impossible. I just seek progress. This also speaks to what we talked about when we were talking about being gracious and loving yourself. Expecting progress and balance, never perfection, because you will get extremely disappointed, because you can never be perfect on anything. Just keep on pushing. It's the same case with anything. You can't wait for the perfect timing to do something. You will not go anywhere. And on matters of Christianity, you walk with the Lord, read your Bible, and get your own revelations and understanding. Stay closely and listen to the lead of the Holy Spirit at all times. Overall, this is what we whipped up under the pressure and the heat. I hope you enjoyed, and there is Mingo. Thank you so much for watching today's video. I'll see you on my next video. Don't forget to hit that like button if you did enjoy this conversation. Otherwise, I love you. God bless you. Let me go.